It started with a whisper, then a sudden sharp drop. Nations around the world abandoned the US dollar overnight. In an instant, America's grip on the global economy was shattered. Oil was no longer priced in USD. US bonds were dumped onto the market like toxic waste. Foreign governments refused to pay their debts. And within days, the United States was spiraling into the worst economic crisis in history. The banks collapsed. Food shortages spread. The military stood on high alert as chaos unfolded in the streets. America, once the most powerful nation on earth, was now on its knees. This is the day the dollar died, and this is how it all happened. For decades, the United States held the world hostage with the power of its currency. The petrodollar system meant oil had to be bought in USD, ensuring global demand. Foreign nations stored wealth in US Treasury bonds, believing they were the safest investment. The dollar was king, until the world decided to destroy it. Then came the great unraveling. It started with whispers, China, Russia, and the Middle East forming a new trade alliance, cutting out the US dollar. OPEC announced oil would be priced in a basket of currencies, yuan, euro, gold. Major banks in Europe and Asia stopped holding USD in their reserves. Then the panic began. Within 48 hours, billions of US bonds were dumped. The stock market reacted violently. The Dow Jones fell 6,000 points in a single trading session. The world had decided. The US dollar was dead. US markets freeze as investors rush to sell everything tied to the dollar. Foreign banks refuse to accept USD transactions, triggering mass confusion. Gas stations ration fuel, prices double overnight. The Federal Reserve begins emergency money printing, but it only accelerates the collapse. The dollar is worthless. Inflation hits 500% in a matter of weeks. A black market emerges. Gold, silver, and cryptocurrency replace the US dollar for trade. The government begins seizing food supplies to prevent total collapse. Cities erupt into chaos. Police forces are overwhelmed as desperate citizens raid grocery stores and banks. The US tries to rebuild, but with a severely weakened currency. Government restructuring occurs, possibly even a split into separate economic zones. The rise of alternative currencies, Bitcoin, gold, and foreign money replace the USD. A new world order emerges. The US is no longer the dominant power. China, Russia, and the EU take control. Massive social unrest continues as Americans struggle to adapt to a post-dollar economy. The US either reinvents itself or fades into history as a former empire. The American century is officially over. The world moves forward with new economic superpowers. If the US fails to recover, it becomes a shadow of its former self, just like the British Empire after World War II. This isn't just an economic collapse, this is the end of an empire. When the dollar dies, America dies with it. What happens next is uncertain, but one thing is for sure. The world will never be the same. Is this scenario likely? Maybe not today, but if the wrong pieces fall into place, history has shown us that no empire lasts forever. Do you think America could survive this? Or is this the fate we're already heading toward? Let us know in the comments.